Hey YouTube, this is Yumi Who Weeps. It is late for me, it's past my bedtime, and I'm very tired. And I was thinking about doing a video, and I was like, oh no, I should not do a video. So here I am. So I was trying to think about what I want to talk about while I do my video that I'm completely, utterly not prepared for, doing it very spur of the moment and know that I shouldn't be doing it. I thought maybe I'll try to talk about what's important to the Creator. I think that humanity, His children, people, are very important to the Creator. He set all of this stuff up, all the universe, just for us. So really, we're the center of the universe. We may not be the center of the universe geographically, but I think we're the center of the universe meaning-wise. So humanity is the center of the universe. So He set everything up for us. Now, since He set everything up just for us, and since creating Adam and Hawa, and of course He knew who was going to come from Adam and Hawa, the billions and billions of children that the humanity that they were going to produce. Since He knew all of that ahead of time, and He was so excited, and He got everything ready, and then the pinnacle of His creation, the best of His creation, was creating Adam and Hawa. So they were the top, they were the utmost, and He said He created that humanity, us, in His image, and He didn't do that with any other thing in His creation except for humanity. He created us in His image. So so I know that we're very important to Him, her. He's beyond gender. I just use him as a generic, sorry for the males, generic term. Anyways, beyond gender, him, her, he's got masculine qualities, feminine qualities. So humanity's his pride and joy, basically. Now, He knew, like, humanity was gonna, like, eat from the tree of the experience, knowledge of function and dysfunction, and they were gonna fall into all the mess that we've had for the past number of thousand years, and look at our history, and there's all kinds of terribleness going on all over the place, and we're incapable of ruling ourselves rightly, and that's been proven through history. Every single government we've had and all of our personal interactions shows that we barely know what we're doing at all, and we're not really we have a hard time doing right with each other a lot of times. But He knew all this stuff, and so I think a lot of it has to do with growth and maturing. I think that's something that He wanted. I think He purposed the whole thing. He decided that He was going to have everybody to be off target, because on target, that's really like sin is being off target. That's what sin means. That the Hebrew word for sin means being off target. And being on target is to be walking according to the ways of Yahweh. The ways of Yahweh is loving Him and loving each other, doing right by each other. That's what, love really is like doing right to each other. So, like, you can love somebody that you don't really like, but you do right by them. You treat them right. You treat them with respect, and that's loving them. Whether you actually feel love for them or not, it's almost irrelevant, because you're loving them in action, and in your behavior you're loving them. And that means a lot. Actually, I think that's a really awesome form of love, because when you, even if you feel opposite of that, when you still act in your behavior and you make sure that you're not doing anything with ulterior motives, even though you don't feel like it, you're making sure that you treat them right. That's love. That's like quality love. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the Creator. So I think we're His pride and joy. I think He purposed for us to grow and mature, and I think He purposed for us to, I think part of the whole process of growing and maturing is for us to be going through things that, like, are very, very difficult. Sometimes we're overwhelmed. Sometimes it's too much. I mean, seriously, like, it's too much. Sometimes it costs our life. I mean, and you look at that and you're like, how could that be, like, maturing us and growing us and making us a better person? It doesn't make any sense. Well, that's because we're looking at our finite life, that this life is all there is. Well, if you look at it through the entirety of things, and you look at that there is another life coming after this one, then you see, oh, well, if a person dies wherever they're at, growth-wise, it almost doesn't even matter, because this life is not the end. because they're still going to have stuff going on after this life. So Yahweh knows. I mean, he sees the whole deal, and of course he sees what's inside a person, and he sees the makeup that's inside a person, stuff that we can't see. I mean, you can't look at a person. I mean, you can get ideas for like how a person is, their personality, whatnot, but he sees the depths. He sees all of the makeup, and that's the stuff that he works with and that he works on. So you may be seeing, like, even when you look inside, like your personality, whatever, that's actually probably closer to the surface. That's not like down to your core, but the core is the stuff that he really works with. And like him working on the core, you can see effects from that when you like go to the surface, the personality, etc., you know. But he's really working with the core and forming it how he wants it to be, and forming it so that it's the best benefit to humanity for that particular person. They're fulfilling their function. And he's doing that with every single person. You know, I mean, even like murderers, you know, they're fulfilling a certain function that he has for them to accomplish good. I mean, it may not look like good because you're like, what, murdering? How can that possibly be good? But it can be accomplishing good in the bigger picture. Because, I mean, he totally looks at the bigger picture. That's just what he does. So he looks at the bigger picture with us. He has us growing. So what's important to him is we're important to him. Our growth is important to him. Love is extremely important to him. It says that he is love. That's like his composition. That's what he's made of. Love is very important. It's very important to him that we love each other, that we love him, because he's our source for life, love, air, everything. I mean, he's like everything. And he's our source for goodness and growing accurately and correctly. So he wants us to love him because he already loves us. He doesn't need to like command us to love him and then command himself to love us. He already loves us, like loves us. And then he commands us to love each other. He wants us to do right by each other, and part of that, I think, is growth. And of course, like, he gives instructions, and part of his instructions, you know, part of them were local instructions at the time that made sense at the time and in that culture, like make sure you build a fence around your roof. Well, in this day and age, you know, if you're like, make sure you build a fence around your roof, you're like, okay, sure. I don't know what the purpose is for that. You got a fence on your roof, who cares? Well, in that day and age, they would hang out on the roof, and that's why he did it. So it was a local instruction that made sense at the time. Well, his instruction of do not murder each other. Well, that kind of makes sense now too. That's not just a local time thing. You know, that's a now time thing. Don't murder each other. Murdering each other is not necessarily a loving thing, you know. Now, I'm not talking about just killing. I'm talking about murdering, you know. And murder actually probably has something to do with like the intent, either animosity, anger, hatred, disregard, something like that. So he's got these instructions that he gives us to illustrate a number of things. It illustrates his character, and it illustrates how we're to live, and it also illustrates how we're supposed to get closer to him by being more like him. So it's important to him, we're important to him, our growth is important to him, obeying him is important to him, and I think it's not just obeying, I think there's a reason why it's important to him. I think the reason why is because it has to do with trust. It has to do, like us trusting him, it has to do with us growing to be more how we really, the core of who you really are, making that true, and that, I just looked at my dog and lost my train of thought. Trust, making us more like him, getting closer to him, being more of who we really are, all those things, you know. So those seem to be important to him. Trusting him is important to him. You know, and I think that that's a sign of love. Like if you're able to trust, if you're in love with somebody and you're able to trust them and they can trust you, that's an important thing. I do think love is the key. I think that's the most important thing. I think it is. It's all about relationships. Relationship is really important to him. Loving each other is really important to him. Trusting him is important to him. Obedience for the sake of growth, becoming more like him, and all those things I mentioned is important to him. Am I missing anything? Well, of course, things like beauty, goodness, love, kindness. It says in Scripture, gentleness, self-control, character, and that's important to him. Having character, growth. It seems to be important to him that we have trials and that we have things that we have to go through and that we interact with each other, and that you're interacting with people that are difficult for you to interact with. It doesn't come naturally. It's a difficult thing. I think there are a number of times in life where someone will have to experience that. Am I missing anything else that I think is important to him? Whoa, my hair. Wow. Whoa. I didn't check my hair before I did this video. Wow. Maybe it'll come alive and attack. I don't know. Can you think of anything else that you think is important to Yahweh? You think is important to the Creator? Obedience, trust, us, growth, love. I think love is extremely important to him. And love that's quite a subject. It's quite a deep thing. Wow, I'm getting like bags under my eyes or something. What is that? I see like lines under my eyes. Now there's no lines. Now I look crazy. Sorry. Let's see. Well, Scripture's the place to find. I mean, that's his message, right? So that's the place to find what's important to him. I know there's like the book of nature, and you can see a lot of stuff. Like you can see beauty in nature. You can see a lot of crazy things in nature, actually. But variety. There's tons of variety. There's knowledge in nature. There's beauty. There's animals and all the funky things animals do. I think, he says the instructions that he gives, first instruction that he gives to Adam and Hawa, he says, be fruitful and multiply. Now, how do you be fruitful and multiply? Sex. So that seems to be very important to him, that we have sex. And not just that we have sex, but that we have it correctly, that it's in the right framework, in the correct context. Now, sex seems to be I believe, according to him, the best way to have sex is for two people that are committed to each other, because sex naturally has the possibility of producing offspring. And if you produce offspring, you're producing another human being, and what's best for that human being is to have two people that love each other, that are working as a team, that can show the offspring what each gender is like, and if the offspring sees the genders working together, even if they have fights, whatever, disagreements, they see the genders working together, and then when they make up from those disagreements, that does a tremendous benefit to the offspring, teaching them how to be, how to live, how to interact with the world around them. So the whole sex thing seems to be very important to him, and plus he made us so that most people really, really like it. So, and he made us that way. So I think he wants people to really, really like it. But I think he also wants people to be responsible about it. And I mean, of course, he made us so that we have all kinds of obstacles to overcome when it has to do with sex. But that's one of them. So be fruitful, multiply. And then the second one is rule over the animals and the land and the sea. And I don't know if it's the third one. I think it's use the world around you for your benefit. So of course, I think it makes sense logically that that all of those would be done in a productive, beneficial manner, not only to benefit yourself, but to benefit the people around you. So you rule over the animals and over the world, and you use its resources for your benefit, which is a very good thing, but it needs to be done responsibly. I think that's the key, is he wants it done responsibly. So sex, animals, and utilizing the world around us. Those are the three beginning instructions for all of humanity. And now, and I'm not saying that, like, you know, you have to have sex or you have to have animals that you're taking care of, or you have, you know, it's not, I don't think it's quite like that. I think it's more of like it's something that he's kind of put into people, and it's something that if you're doing any of those things, either sex or having animals or like using the world around you for your benefit, that it's good to do those things in a responsible way, and that's part of humanity's job. So even if an individual can't accomplish all those things, humanity will be accomplishing those things. So I think that's a good thing. I'm sure there's more to this, but this is meant to be just a rambling late night, I'm so goofy because I'm getting on the internet when I should be asleep kind of things. So, yep. Do you want to hear a song? Beautiful dreamer. Woo, buddy. Mary's it out to those. Oh, sorry. So, yeah, but if anybody has any insight into why they think what's important to the Creator, what they think it is, I would be most interested, and possibly other people would be very interested also. Okay. My dog is licking the blanket. He does that a lot. He licks the blanket, and he licks his legs. And he licks the air. He licks the air. And he licks his nose. He loves licking. And he loves licking all those things. His favorite thing is to, like, lick his legs as he's laying across my legs. But, like, my legs have numbness and stuff, and it sends the worst sensation through my legs. And I'm just like, I can't do it. Puppy, you gotta move. Good puppy. Okay. Alright then. Okay. Well, have a good day, night, evening, morning, breakfast, dinner, lunch, supper, twilight, midnight, dawn, pre-dawn, 3 o'clock, 8 o'clock, sun in the sky. Okay, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later, and if you've survived this far, congratulations. Signing off for now, I suppose.